Okay. All right. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Claire, and I might have broken the switch.
And I'm Meghana, and I like to respond with texts with duck emojis.
And this is
Make That
Game,
where we pitch the latest,
greatest
new video game ideas
that, well, they're probably not going to be made, unfortunately. All right. So, listeners, you may notice that Isaac sounds a little different today. That's because it's not Isaac. It's actually the famous Listener Meghana here to guest host. Hello, Meghana.
Hello, hello. I am so happy to be on this podcast. Make That Game's #1 fan coming at you live.
You are a #1 fan.
Live.
Yeah, I always say live on tape. We're live on tape.
Live on tape. Cool. Got it. Awesome. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Even though Isaac can't be here, I hope I will provide something interesting here. But yeah.
Yeah. So Isaac is on a trip and he will be back and he will tell us all about it. I'm sure I don't want to get it wrong, but he's doing Warhammer things and having a great time. And yeah, we just didn't want to skip an episode. So I thought, hey, first guest episode, famous Listener Meghana, let's go. So Meghana, first, before we jump right into all of our things, I did want to ask kind of what's your history with video games?
Yeah, so I am a Nintendo fan through and through. So I kind of grew up with Nintendo 64 in the early 2000s and have basically just sort of stuck very close to the console. And Nintendo 64, we got a GameCube, we got Game Boy Advance, we got all that good stuff. So now I'm currently playing the Nintendo Switch. I used to be a huge Pokemon fan. I'm sort of falling off that right now, but I'm hoping the new released games are going to get me back into Pokemon. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just your general Nintendo casual gamer.
Love it. I feel like I do float towards Nintendo often. You know, like when I play,
they seem to be like a more wholesome, family-friendly sort of vibe, which I personally, I can get behind. It's tough when it's just like murder, bad words all the time, and I'm like, I'm sure like that's not all the other consoles have to offer, but yeah.
Well, and there's also so many games that are on multiple consoles too, that I feel like if it's on Switch, I pick Switch. Or if it's on a Nintendo console, which is Switch right now. But yeah, I agree with that. But interesting. Yeah, awesome. And I know your Pokemon love. I was thinking as you were saying it, you should do, so we had a PowerPoint New Year's party where everyone brought a PowerPoint and Meghana's was really good. And that should be a bonus episode. You should present that for a bonus episode.
Yeah, I would be happy to present it. I feel like I need to revisit it though. Like, I feel like I didn't give it a good enough shot when it first came out. So maybe I just need to like approach it with a new sort of perspective. Or maybe I'll still hate it. Basically, the big thing is that I think Pokemon Sword and Shield are absolute garbage.
Yes, and the PowerPoint was about that, and it was supposed to be 5 minutes, and I think it was like 20 minutes of like why Sword and Shield is bad.
You know, everyone else didn't, go as long as I did. So I think I made up for some time.
I think everyone went over 5 though, which I was absolutely fine with. Because that was fantastic. I should make that an annual party.
Yeah, I would love to participate again. I have so many other opinions that I can put into a PowerPoint.
Exactly. That's the best part. Yes. And now with my new job, I do way less PowerPoints. So it's like I got to get back in the slideshow biz, I'm not mad about it, but I do get to make my first ever slide deck for work in the next couple of weeks. I'm like, cool. Yay. Yeah, it will be fun. It's for a live podcast recording. Wow, it's like I do this all the time.
It's your
but
hobby
not this
and
podcast.
Your job.
A different podcast. Yeah. All right. Well, so I'm just going to jump into our regularly scheduled programming. Meghana, what kind of games have you been up to lately, or do you have any gaming news to share?
Yeah, so recently I am constantly playing Animal Crossing New Leaf. Even if it's just for like 5 minutes every evening, I've got to make sure I get my money tree, got to get the Nook miles going. So it's just sort of like a daily sort of thing where I just sort of go around my town, make sure there aren't any flowers out of place. Yeah. And I talk to my villagers.
Yes. Did you mean New Horizons or did you mean New Leaf?
Yes, New Horizons. Sorry. Did I say New Leaf?
You said New Leaf, yeah.
Oh.
That's okay. I don't know anything about Animal Crossing. I was like, that probably is a game.
Yes, it was the game on the 3DS, which I sunk many, many hours into. I was actually looking at my New Horizons playtime, and I logged about 1,000 hours in it when it was only released in 2020 of March. So, whoops.
I mean, 2020 of March, though, was a special time in everyone's life.
True, yeah.
You had a lot of extra game time.
But the thing is, I was actually still working full time. I had to go into the clinic on a daily basis. I didn't get that, quarantine period. True. So it was still a little embarrassing. But I mean, it was going on with everyone.
Yeah, I played so much Animal Crossing in that time. I mean, I was working from home, but yeah, I would just grab it.
Yeah, it's nice. I also play the Pocket Camp, which is the mobile game on iPhone. My mom and I like to play together and give each other gifts and talk about what the animals are doing at our campsites. So,
I love it. That's great.
It's a good old fun time. I also played a couple indie games recently, one of which those games I will be honking and bonking at a later point. But yeah, it's been a little bit different because usually I just sort of stick with the same games over and over and over. So it's nice to have a change of pace with these indie games.
Nice. Awesome.
What about you, Claire? What have you been up to in the video gamosphere? Any news? Any games you've been playing?
Like, I need to get back in the swing of things because I was gaming so much more a few months ago, and now I'm just into TV and I need to stop. I'm just rewatching Gilmore Girls for like the 10th time instead of playing video games. What season are you on? I'm on season 5, I think.
Okay. I ask I remember what exactly happened.
I was going to say, I didn't think you were a big Gilmore Girls fan. But
I watched it all the way through, but I just don't remember what happens. But
yeah. So she's like at college already.
It's just a nice, fun time, just a calming thing that you can just put on in the background.
Yeah, and I do put on to do Dollhouse stuff and have that going, and it's a nice time. But I do want to get back to gaming, and I was going to get back to this. This relates to I might have broken the Switch, so sorry, Isaac. We'll talk about it when you get home. It's not broken per se, but it won't read the right hand controller as connected when I'm trying to play it handheld.
Oh,
it just does not think it's connected. And I tried switching. We have 2 different controllers, and I tried switching, and it still doesn't think. No matter what controller's on that side, it's doesn't think it's connected, which makes me think it's a Switch problem and not a controller problem. Oh. So I was trying to play Ori, which is a game that I was playing really frequently before we started the podcast. And I got really, really stuck at one part of it and just never went back because I was so frustrated. And so I was like, I'm going to try again. This was a really good game. I really liked it. And it's a platformer. And so obviously you need your controls to be top, really doing the right thing for that. And yeah, I just couldn't. It kept pausing because it was it's disconnected. And we're doing something which I call extreme luxury, which is where we ordered a second Switch dock.
Oh.
Because we have 2 TVs in the house, and I use the Switch, as listeners will know, to play Just Dance and Ring Fit. So I need space to move. But I only have that in my office, which is where I have my Dollhouse stuff, and I have my TV in there. So I have the dock there. But then we also have the gaming / TV / living room where it usually was. And instead of moving it back and forth, I was like, let's just get 2 docks. Let's be luxurious. Let's be fancy. This is the height of luxury. And it hasn't arrived yet, but I'll be able to play. So I didn't plug it in because you can play it. It's not broken in that sense. I can play it on TV, but I like playing it handheld. Okay.
I feel that when I first got my Switch, I would only use it connected to the TV. And now, the past year, I've only been using it handheld. It's basically just plugged into the side of my bed. And so I just lie on my back playing my Switch.
It's cozy. I like it.
It is cozy, yeah.
I like it. And it also helps, like, say, you know, if Isaac wants to play like a PlayStation game, then I can play Switch at the same time because I'm playing handheld and, you know, he can use that. So that's nice. But anyway, so I was kind of discouraged and then didn't play a lot more games, but I was playing, I did do some Animal Crossing as well. I really want to achieve things in the home planner DLC. And so I just made the hospital, which I thought was a really weird choice for a game to have you make. Like, this is not like, I didn't choose to make a hospital. Like, the game said you must make a hospital. But I did make it look like you're on a train. So that's train hospital.
I would really love you to post a picture of that to the Instagram feed if you're able to.
Yes. I think it'll have to be a video because I have walls that like move. Yeah. Train hospital.
I would love to see that. As listeners probably do not know, since it's my first time here, I am a massive train fan. I love trains. So it's awesome to hear that we used train theme for this hospital.
I think I need to make it more train themed because I only made the exam room train themed. And I think the whole thing has to be like, I should make the waiting area look like a station. Oh, I got to go back in.
Oh, you got to go back in and you got to post those pictures when you're done redesigning it.
Oh, I will. That's great. Yeah. And then the only other game I just downloaded literally like 30 minutes ago, Restless Soul, which is a new game from Graffiti Games, which also published Turnip Boy and Lila Sky Arc, which are games that we at Make That Game absolutely adore. We love Graffiti Games. Shout out Graffiti Games. Come on the pod. Anyway, would love to have you. But yeah, so that's all I've been doing. So hoping to do some more. Isaac's still gone tomorrow and Monday's off. So I think I'll try some video games. Wow. Actually play for like a couple hours instead of just like 30 minutes in between things.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. Got to get those video games in. If you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it?
Yeah, Labor Day weekend is basically for video games, actually.
Exactly. Yeah, that's saying. Why it was put into place.
Yeah,
Labor Day.
we don't. They're like, we just don't have time to play video games. We really need it. Please give us at least one day a year to play video games.
One day, just one day a year.
That's all we need. Oh man! All right, so you teased that you might have a game to honk and or bonk for us. Would you like to share?
Yeah, so I am going to honk and bonk Donut County. So it's available to play, I think, online, and I personally played it on the Switch. It's created by Ben Esposito and published by Annapurna Interactive. Basically, it's a puzzle game where you play as a mischievous raccoon named BK and use holes to collect trash. I put trash in quotations because sometimes it's not actual garbage, but like other creatures and their houses and other things. It's really like, it's a wild ride. But it's just like entertaining and it's a really like simple mechanic to kind of pick up. So basically you just, there are these sections of the game where you sort of are chatting with the individuals who are sunken down, I guess, like 9,000 feet below ground level because of these holes. And so it's like goes back and forth between these little conversations. And then it goes to the gameplay portion where you just kind of maneuver these little holes around this like territory and just try to like collect stuff in them. And as you collect more stuff, the hole gets bigger so you can collect larger things. It's an interesting time.
Yeah, I feel like I might have to Google some like video so I can see, but yeah, it sounds interesting. And I actually am terrified of raccoons, but I like them in a meme way.
The good old trash pandas. I, for one, am such a fan of raccoons. I respect them. I love them, but I don't want them close to me. I'll sometimes stare at them from like far away and be like, you do you, raccoon. But yeah, as soon as I see one coming close to me, I'm like, oh gosh, I got to go the other way.
I was about to say, so I never mentioned, but Meghana and I actually know each other from college.
Yes, that's why I'm here. Not only am I the number one fan, but we went to college for
We did that. We went to college.
We went to college.
It was the same one, believe it or not.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, once you remember where Aaron and I lived, once we came home and there was just like raccoons everywhere. And we just sat and we were like, I don't know how to get in our apartment because we didn't want to get close to the raccoons. And I kind of forget, actually, I think we ended up going up because there was like a balcony that connected, I think. I don't remember how we did it, but we went like in our apartment in a very different way that day because we were just like, no.
Scary gang of raccoons were just waiting for you.
And you could hear it. Like there was a lot of raccoons in that area because you could hear them run on the roof at night, scuttle. Anyway, tell me more. Tell me about how you feel about this game.
Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed this game. But I do have a couple honks, which longtime listeners may know that is a positive aspect to the game, but newer listeners may not know. So again, a honk is a good thing, and a bonk is a bad thing, or something that you don't really get along well with.
It doesn't have to be bad, but it's like you would prefer it be different. That's sometimes how I say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a much nicer way of saying it than just a bad thing.
Sometimes it is a bad thing, okay? But
yeah. True. But I guess I'll start off with some honks. Like I said, the mechanics are super simple to pick up. Basically, you use like a mouse or your joystick to just sort of move the hole around, and you kind of can like just look at the area and be like, okay, so these are the smaller things I need to collect. These are the bigger things I need to collect, and just kind of use that as the general progression to make the hole as large as you can and eventually just wreak havoc. So that is a honk. Another honk is I love the dialogue in this game. It's a little bit like, I don't know, kind of random humor almost, but just like the way these characters interact with each other. And like there's an option to like send texts. It's not really like you get to write the text. They're pre-written texts that you send. But instead of sending the text, you have an option to send a little duck emoji as well that you send instead. And there's just a quack. And you can send like 1 million of them. And then eventually it'll be like, you can't send any more ducks. You have to continue the dialogue here. So I find that entertaining. And it gave me a little bit of a chuckle here and there. And I don't know, I just kind of like the vibe of this game. It's a short game that, you just kind of can pick up here and there where you can play all in one sitting. It doesn't take very long. I think it maybe only took me like 3 hours max.
Oh, wow.
But there are just like a bunch of different little levels that you collect different things and then you progress to the next area. So it's a nice, just sort of, easy, chill kind of game. You don't have to think about it a whole lot. So yeah, those were my honks for this game. I do have a couple bonks though. Even though, it's nice that it's short and you can sort of pick it up and put it down and kind of continue on with it. It would be great if there were like a few extra levels, with just some extra mechanics or some new things that they can add in. The game did add some new mechanics here and there, but they were typically just for one stage and then they went away. So it would be nice to have even more like options for different mechanics. Like at one point, like you fill the hole up with water and then you use that water to sort of like move over to a like electrical wire, which causes something to do something else.
Okay. Yep.
So it would just be nice to have more options for like different quirky things like that. Like another thing is that you can like put 2 rabbits in a hole. I know there are like animal creatures that are like up and talking, but then there are also rabbits who just also exist. And if you put 2 rabbits in the hole, they'll just reproduce like crazy and there'll be like little hearts popping out of the hole and like the hole will get bigger because there are more rabbits in the hole. It's just like a lot of weird quirky things like that I wish there were more options for that in different levels.
Amazing.
Another bonk is that the climax of the story was kind of I feel like it's kind of in Chicory that way, where it's like a boss battle that doesn't actually need to be there. It would have been better if it was like more puzzles using the holes to sort of figure out a way to get through this situation. And I mean, there was this great buildup of these series of puzzles with the holes. But then the boss was just kind of like, why?
It does feel very much like Chicory.
Yeah. So those were kind of the 2 main bonks that I have. Otherwise, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice, chill game to just sort of play and pick up and pick it up again, but it would have been nice to just have a little bit more content.
Yeah, definitely.
So what about you, Claire? What have you been wanting to honk and bonk today?
Yeah, so it's actually something you requested that I honk and bonk based on something I said on one of our shows.
It is Fortnite?
It is going to be Fortnite. Oh. It's going to be Fortnite, yes. Now, to preface, well, first, if anyone hasn't heard of Fortnite, let me explain. So basically, it's Battle Royale. So you go in and you kill as many people as you can, and you try to be the last one alive in these, like, fantastical worlds. Islands are what they are officially. And I played this in 2018, and I said on the episode where I teased I might do this that I should try again because that's a long time ago, and I did not, because I went to the website and I was like, I don't want to download this. So I thought I still had it, and I didn't, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to re-download. I'm not going through it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So, but I did kind of like poke around to see what they've changed and what they haven't from just looking at the website and stuff. And it doesn't look like it's changed too much. But, you know, at me on Twitter, at Make That Game Pod, if you're like, wait, Fortnite's completely different than the thing you're explaining. But yeah, I'm going to honk and bonk Fortnite today. So first we'll go for our honks, which there are honks. One is I do like that it's very speedy. It is a quick game. I forget how long. See, this is the thing. I really haven't played in a while, so sorry, but I think it's still worth it. I think it's still fun, and I'm still going to talk about it. But it's fast. It's timed, and it's fast, and it goes by fast, and you can play rounds, like multiple rounds in an hour if you sat down and played for an hour. And I kind of like that. I feel like sometimes there are times when I just want a quick, like, get in, get out kind of game. It's tough for me, and I've already talked about this, but to sit down and play a game and get really into it right away. And sometimes the beginning of games are so long in setup. Like, here's like 10 million cutscenes so you understand
tutorial
the world.
After tutorial.
And then you're like, I'm in the tutorial level. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to play the game. But then, of course, if I skip the tutorial, I'm like, I don't know how to play this game.
You can't win either way.
Right. Or I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who anyone is. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. So anyway, I like that it's very like click and play. It did not take me a long time to figure it out, which is great because that was even before I was really gaming to the extent that I am now. So it was nice. It's like that part of it is nice. I also do think it is funny. I just found it funny. Like, everything looks kind of funny. So it's designed, it's not, your traditional like bloody like shooter game. Like, everything is very cartoony, which is also kind of a bonk, which I'll talk about. But it's very cartoony. It's funny that like when you die and you're like crawling on the ground for some reason, that becomes very comedic. Just the way it is, because like there'll be a ton of other people around and you're just kind of like slowly crawling. Because people can come revive you. Yeah, so I should explain. So yeah, so like say if you get shot, usually the first time you'll just kind of go on all fours and people on your squad can come revive you. So there's also different ways to play. So if you're playing like just like everyone battle royale, like classic, no one would revive you because why? Like you're the enemy.
It's everyone for themselves.
Right. But if you're playing, you can play with squads. So either groups of 5 or you can play half and half. So 50 players are on one team and 50 are on the other. And, you try to kill everyone on the opposite team. So those are a couple ways to play. And this is all with like online people. And there's always 100 players in each like wave. I forget what it's called. Not bout. It's a sport name. Anyway, I love sports. So anyway, yeah. So if you're playing with like a team situation where you either have like a crew or squad, I think, or it's the team versus team, then someone on your team can come revive you before you like actually die or before someone like continues to kill you. And so you're just kind of like crawling and like people around you are still battling and you're just kind of like crawling. And I don't know, for some reason that's just very funny to me. Also funny is that the first few times I played, I literally just hid in a building and like would get pretty far. Like I wouldn't win because someone would find me eventually, but like I would get pretty far just hiding, like doing nothing. And my friends would be like, what are you doing? Like, you have to play. And I'm like, I am playing. This is the smart way to play. This is how I play dodgeball.
We hide until someone finds us. It's hide and seek.
It's avoid, avoid, avoid. Like, if I avoid the conflict, I will not die. Seems easy. Like, I would find the least populated area and just like hide. And it worked.
It's a viable strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. I never won. I don't even think I ever placed in like the top 3. But anyway, I got a lot further than I did when I actually tried to like be part of it. But yeah, and then the final honk is that there is some really cool building if you get good at it. So Fortnite is not only a battle royale, you also can build in the game. So say you need a hideout. Well, you can build walls for your hideout and like make a little hideout really quick in the game. And things like that. You could build like staircases and...
So do you need resources to build these things?
Yes.
Or you can just like, see, I asked you to honk and bonk Fortnite without myself knowing anything about Fortnite.
Well, that's part of it, right? So you learn about what the heck is going on in Fortnite. I believe there is resources because I remember there were things I could not do, which I'm assuming because I didn't have the resources. But again, this was like 4 years ago. So, take it with a grain of salt.
Could be completely changed now. You can just materialize things out of the ether.
Tell me how it works, listeners. I don't remember. But I do remember that. Let's move into the box because we're getting there. It's really hard to use the building situation. I actually got the first ever round I played. I got stuck in build mode. But like I have like my pen and like draft paper out because that's what it looks like when you're in build mode. And everyone's literally shooting at me. And I'm just like... like again, it's funny, but I can't switch back because also I had never used PlayStation, so I'm like,
it's like these controls are all different.
Yeah, so whatever, but it's like there's not enough time because it's a timed game and everyone's trying to kill you constantly. Like the second you land, like you're being hunted basically. When am I supposed to practice the skill of building? Like, I don't know how people get so good at it. Like, I will see players literally building stairs as they run up them. Like, this is common in the game because it helps you, like, move and, like, get away from people and also have, like, better angles and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? How? I can barely build a wall. I don't know what you're doing. And there is a special creative mode, kind of like Minecraft, where you can literally just build. I've never played that because that is for money, and just the Battle Royale is actually free, or it was in 2018. I don't know. But so I was like, I'm not paying for this, but I'm assuming that people who are good at building must have to use that creative mode because, again, you do not have time to learn that skill in game because if you stand still long enough to figure it out, you're going to just get killed. So
can you put like a little note out to everyone? Are you able to like communicate with the other players and be like, hey, just let me practice, please. I just need to craft.
I just you can kill me in 10 seconds, okay?
Just give me a chance so I can
build
craft.
This wall.
Please, just give me a chance.
I can't remember if you must be able to talk to people. Yeah, because I just wouldn't. I would never do that because I am scared of people.
If you ever decide to pick it up again and it's still the way it was 4 years ago,
right?
It certainly wouldn't hurt to
a second.
use a chat function to be like, leave me alone until like the end of the game.
I'm not here to win. I'm here to learn.
Exactly.
But I'm not here to win. I'm here to make friends. It's the opposite of that. No, there's definitely a chat feature. This is another bonk, but it's only really a bonk for me personally, and I'm sure other people, but like, it's not really a game bonk. I don't like that it's online, like that you have to play with people. Like there's no like CPU version of this game. I can't just play against computers. You have to play.
Single player campaign.
Right. Like you have to play online, and it's kind of creepy sometimes. Like, I don't know. I don't like games like that. I feel very like exposed. Because like these are real people watching me like awkwardly crawl on the ground, and I know it's not me. I know that in my heart of hearts. But like even when Animal Crossing says like we have to connect to the internet to fly you to an island, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't want to be on the internet. Don't put me on the internet, says the person whose face is currently on the internet. But I don't know. Yeah, it's something about like it's kind of like playing sports for me, where like I'm not very good at sports. And so I don't like being observed if I'm trying to play a sport. Like, it's just embarrassing. That's kind of how I feel, where it's like, I'm not very confident in this style of video game, and now I'm being watched by 99 strangers try to play it. So.
No, I can get that.
Yeah. So that's that. And then the final bonk is really the one that everyone talks about with Fortnite. Is just that, like, it does kind of feel like a cash grab a lot of the time. Like, back in 2018, there was only, I think, 4 different avatars that you could play as if you didn't pay money. And you had no control over which one you were. So, like, it would load a new game and it just automatically assigned you an avatar, and it might be like this buff man or like this like cool lady or what, whatever, but you had no choice. And you just played as that. And so that's like, but then there's so much customization that you can pay for, right? Like they release new things all the time. Like there's all these cool like weapons you can get and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you want any of that, you have to pay money. And the cartoonish like aspect of it, while it's like very funny, is like, also, obviously, trying to attract very young children to, like, spend their parents' money on it.
Yep. Which,
like, ethically, I don't love it. I don't love it.
It's definitely a gray area to be like, oh, the credit card's already saved. Let's just buy all these skins and buy all these dances and.
Right. Like, I don't know. I would want, like, the video game youth to just have, traditional console games. Like, enjoy that. You buy it once and have a good time.
Yeah, and there's plenty of content there. You don't have to buy extra content for it. So you hear that, video game youths, don't go on to the Fortnite. Yeah, stick with the console.
And then there's the creepy internet aspect of it, and it's like
the pedophiles.
There's maybe I'll link it in the show notes. There's a really funny SNL skit about Fortnite, and I love it, and I'll put it in the show notes. It's very good. But yes, anyway, so that's Fortnite Honked and Bonked. I did it.
You did it.
Please tell me how different it is since 2018. But I don't think it's changed it can't have changed too much. I think the basics are the same. Well, this means, since we've both honked and bonked some games, that it is time for the game pitch. And I'm going to pitch it to you.
Okay, I'm ready.
What do you... I'll pitch to you now, yeah. I'll do it first, I guess. Yeah, that's what that means.
That's how I interpreted that, and that's how it means now.
Okay, I'm going to do it. It actually makes sense because pitching has to do with baseball, and that's what my game has to do with. It's called Home Run.
Home Run. Starting off strong.
Yes. So I have been watching lots of TV, like I said, and one of the TV shows I started is League of Their Own, which is on Amazon Prime. And it's about the 40s women's baseball league. And it's awesome. And I love it's not based on the movie, but it definitely references the movie from, I believe, I want to say the 80s. But it's a really good movie. And it was one of my favorite movies growing up. And then this TV show is a really, really good TV show.
Are all the episodes out now, or is it?
They are all out, yes.
And where can they be?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. And it's very good. And I was even... I was one of these characters for Halloween one year, but no one knew it because I tried to dye a red dress pink, which shouldn't be that difficult. You just like lightly bleach it, except it was polyester. And those of you who know that polyester will not bleach. So I just wore a red one, and then no one knew who I was. It was great. Anyway, but just to show how much I love this kind of like show, even though I don't play baseball, I'm really actually very bad. Anytime I've played baseball or softball, I'm like really bad, like laughably bad, because I'm not good at hitting the ball. I'm not good at running. I'm a terrible runner. Catching it, I'm kind of okay at. Like I kind of can do it. Throwing's a no. So very few skills when it comes to the game of baseball. But anyway, Home Run. So basically, this is going to be a quick pitch because this is basically a baseball sim, just like a baseball
pitch.
Yeah, a quick. It's going to be really no curveballs here.
Throwing more baseball puns.
Yes. But yeah, well, I almost called it Home Base, and I was going to make it like a baseball dating sim. But then I was like, I don't want to pitch a dating sim. So I went back to Home Run. And, but yeah, the mechanics are, again, it's basically just like baseball, except you can play as the teams from the 40s. Because they had a lot of teams. The ones that were the women's team. So it's all women. It's all women baseball. Because I played the game FIFA has anyone heard the video game?
I have
about
heard
soccer?
of the FIFA.
Yes. Soccer is the only sport I enjoy watching on TV. So I played FIFA, and I actually really enjoyed that. And it was really fun because I like watching, like I said, I like watching soccer on TV. So like when you can pick the actual characters, they're people, they're real people. The players.
No, they're just characters. They're just digital. They don't exist in real life.
The characters from the movie.
This is
FIFA.
a video game podcast. This isn't a sports podcast. We don't need to call them people.
Yeah, so you can pick actual players and like play as them, and that's really fun when you know the players. And I mostly watch women's soccer, but they have those in the FIFA game. They have the women's teams.
Again, they are characters. They're not people. This is a video game
They're
podcast.
real people, but not in the video. I don't know. Anyway, so I like that game. So I kind of modeled this based on that. It's kind of like you play as the whole team. So the team's playing AI, and you switch when it's important. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I didn't play a lot of FIFA, to be fair, but I liked when I did. So basically, like if you're running with the ball in FIFA, in soccer, you would, like, the rest of your team is like CPU, but you can switch to any player. So like if like the ball's approaching the goal, you would switch to the goalie. And then so you kind of control the whole team.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how I would see it, and how I would see this game. So you could be, if you're batting, you would be batting, and you would play that player, but then like you're pitching, you'd be pitching. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's a lot of baseball games out there. I Googled it right before this podcast. There's a lot, a whole lot. So this would just live among them. And one of the fun parts would be you get to pick an outfit, and you get to pick the team colors and stuff. And maybe the name, because all the names were really cute. Like they had like the peaches and the comets.
Oh.
It's like, I love that. Yeah. So like you could pick like a cute name and like a cute little outfit and play your little game. And then I figured there'd be you could do PvP. So like you each play a team, or you can just play against the computer. So, because I always have to make an only child version of the game. Because that's who I am. And that's how it is. But
Every game must be only child approved.
Exactly. So that's pretty much it. I also thought in the last version of FIFA that I played, which was also in 2018, there was like a story mode, which was kind of weird, but also kind of fun, where like you played as a player. You would get cutscenes about like signing with the team and like you're the underdog, and but then you just play games within this story. So I thought that might be fun for this. Like you could get like letters from the war, or like write home, or
that would be cute.
Yeah, like so there could be like some kind of story version or story mode that you could play as if you wanted. So yeah, that's Home Run, the game. All right, Meghana.
Home Run sounds like a home run to me.
Woo! Do you have a game for me today?
I do indeed have a game for you today. And so initially I was thinking of a dating sim, but then I decided to develop this concept a little bit more.
Okay, I just want to say I like that we both almost pitched dating sims, but didn't.
Well, my game's working title is called Sleep with the Fishes. Initially, I was thinking of it being a mermaid dating sim, but then I was like,
my gosh.
No, we're going to do something different here. So I want it to be like an action-adventure stealth game, basically, where you play as a mermaid and you live in this mermaid civilization, but you live off the coast of this human city, and they are out to get you. So your job as a part of the mermaid mafia is to infiltrate the human city and find these individuals who think that you exist or found evidence of your existence. And you have to track them down, and you have to either end them or just completely obliterate their career so that nobody trusts them or anything like that. So like the whole idea is that you are this mermaid in this mermaid mafia. And you get these special mermaid powers as you sort of work your way through the story. Because basically, when you're out of the water, you can only maintain like this sort of illusion for a short period of time. So you would have to figure out ways to either rehydrate yourself to sort of continue to keep up your facade. or, progress through the story and just like kill people really fast. It just kind of depends on your own personal play style.
Right.
Like if you want to be sneaky and just sort of like, intel gather and just like pass notes to the right people, that's an option. Or you can just go crazy and kill everyone. But you have to make sure that nobody sees you in your mermaid form. Otherwise, more people will be like, oh, I saw that mermaid there. And they're going to come after you. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my pitch. So I don't have anything else. I think it's a cool idea. Like I kind of imagine this as like, I've never actually played an action adventure stealth game, but like I kind of want it to be like Assassin's Creed almost, where you sort of have to like move through these like different like groups of people and like hide in places and just like, yeah. And then there's there will be like sections in like the human city, and then there'll be sections in the like mermaid city where you intelligence gather down there, and they'll be like, yeah, I heard that so-and-so took a picture of this mermaid the other day. Go find them and go deal with them. And everyone has like thick accents, like they're, Italian mafia members. So
good.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed meets Little Mermaid meets The Godfather.
Good. Those are three good things I want in a game, actually. That's actually perfect. No, I love this. I love the Mermaid Mafia. I think that's great. And I can imagine it. So are you thinking, I always like to say, like, is this POV? Is it over the shoulder? Like, what does it look like?
Yeah, so I kind of imagine it over the shoulder, sort of like almost, I want to say like almost noir-esque. Maybe just like shades of black and white.
I like that.
And you're just sort of like walking through the city in the dead of night. And there's lots of character customization. So you can design how your mermaid looks in the water, and you can design how your facade looks when you're on the land. So
I like this because it'll be like there'll be people who are just there to play, and then there'll be people who are like, yeah, I spent 2 hours making my mermaid. Thank you.
Exactly. And I would love to see all the artwork of all the different mermaids, but there will be plenty of options.
If you want to make fan art of Meghana's pitched game, please do. And send it to us at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com.
Please do. I would love to see this come to fruition. And maybe this will finally be the first action adventure stealth game that I will ever play. Because
you made it.
Yeah, because I made it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. That's very cool. I know. I feel like I need to go deeper in my game pitches. I think my favorite so far is still B&B. Mm-hmm. That was just like a very in-depth game. But I would play my game as well, and I would definitely play yours as long as it doesn't make me nauseous.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. Maybe if you're underwater, it wouldn't be nauseous, but then when you've gone on land, who knows? I don't know.
I mean, well, Subnautica is actually better at it than most games at not making me sick. But again, I'm teasing it again, and it will happen eventually. I'm going to live stream playing Stray wearing the silly glasses. So everybody get ready for that. It will happen.
I'm so ready. I am
Follow
so
us
ready.
on Twitch.
I've been ready.
And you'll see it, but we'll also post a lot about it before it happens. Probably. I'm hoping actually before I leave, I'm going on trips. It's all the trips.
Busy.
All right. Well, that concludes the pitch sessions, which means it's my favorite part of the show, the rapid fire round. Pew, pew, pew. Like now people actually see me make that noise. That's great. All right. So for those of you unfamiliar with the rapid fire round, I'm going to generate 3 random words. Meghana is going to set a timer for 5 minutes. Is that still, can you do that?
I can. I got my phone.
You're ready. All right. Beautiful.
I'm ready.
We are going to then have to create a game idea based on those 3 words. We have to use all 3, but we can stretch the definition, and we probably will. Yes. It also needs a name. That's an important part. Mm-hmm. Are we ready for our first 3 words?
We are ready. What are those first 3 words?
Society, field, tower.
And the timer starts now.
Yes.
Society, field, tower.
And I feel like that's almost easy in the sense that, like, okay, so we're a society with a tower in a field. Game design.
But what if instead of a human society, what if we are termites building our little termite tower in a field?
Under.
Well, I mean, there are some termites that build their towers
they go up. Okay, termite tower, yes. Also, termite tower is a great name. I almost think we've named it.
Yes, termite tower.
Termite tower is the name. We need to figure out what the gameplay is, but
okay, that's the important thing. Okay, yes. So gameplay for termite tower is that you control a colony of termites, and basically you're put out in this field, and you just have to build your tower by going off and I feel like I'm just describing Sim Ant at this point.
Have you ever played Sim Ant? No, I've never even heard of Sim Ant.
So basically it's like you control ants and you basically are building your little ant burrow and collecting food and resources.
So to differentiate it a little bit, let's make it so yes, you're building your tower, but maybe there's like other towers happening.
Okay, so maybe it's like a timed
it's like
tower.
A race. Yeah, you have to be the tallest tower.
So maybe it's like a multiplayer game where you play against your friends to build the tallest termite tower.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
That's it. So you're still gathering resources, but yeah, go ahead.
How do the termites build the tower? You just have to collect resources in the field, or?
Well, how do actual termites? I'm going to Google it. How do termites build their tower?
We might have to look this up. I think, do they have to eat? And do they just like spit stuff up? Is that what it is?
All right, here we go. So from esf.edu, no idea what school that is. The mounds enclose a ramifying network of tunnels. No. How do you make them? They have really chimneys important. Sometimes. That's what that says. How long does it take? Why do they know? What are they? What are they made of?
What are they made of? How do they make it?
Tell me, Google. Tell me.
You know what? If it's not going to tell us, we're just going to have to make it up. We're just going to have to be like, this is fantasy termites. And they build their towers out of dead animals.
Yeah. And you have to why is it not telling me? This is so weird. What magic is this?
Maybe that's what the termites build the towers out of, is magic.
Yes, I like that. We're going to do that.
Yes, so it's magic. So you actually have to go out and read books. So there are books scattered all around the field with different magical spells. So you have to read the books, educate your termites on the different magics, bring them back to the tower.
Bring them back. And they're like wizard termites, and they're make the towers.
Termites.
Yes. Done. Time.
Done. Yep. There's termite tower. With 2 minutes to spare.
Nice. Very good. I'm sure if I read more, I could have figured it out, but I'm kind of upset that Google didn't just automatically give me like a sentence of like, they're made out of. And some of it had like the chemicals they're made out, but it's like, how? Yeah. How did the termites do that? No one wants to tell me. Great.
So now they're termite wizards that learn the magic and build their tower. That's all you need to know.
The top game, termite tower. All right. Our next 3 words. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
That's another animal one, possibly. Extinct, catch, baseball, I don't know, and layer.
Oh, gosh. And the timer starts now. Extinct, catch, layer.
Yes.
Well, this just makes me think of like, you're an archaeologist digging for fossils in the ground, right?
Yep. Layer, extinct, we're already there. We're good.
As for the catch... Maybe you're like deep down in a hole and there's someone up on the ledge. So you have to throw them the fossils and they have to catch them.
Okay. So I'm going to take this as like what I like to do with games like this, where it's definitely virtual reality. So you have to, you're physically like, and trying to get the right angle.
There's 2 of you in the same virtual reality space. Like you're basically right next to each other, but it looks like one of them is deep down into the ground.
So one of my favorite things about early virtual reality especially is they had these asynchronous, I think that's what it's called, games where one person would wear the headset and one had the controllers, because you can't, or one person would have the headset and controllers, but the other person's doing something on the computer. Because most times you can't have 2 headsets and controllers running at the same time, or at least you couldn't back when I was doing it in like 2016. I'm just like out of date today, but that's okay. So they would have like the game like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where one person is reading the instructions, the other person's disarming the bomb. There's also such a goofy game, and if we get VR here, I will play it. I'll play it live on YouTube or something, because it's the funniest game where you run around and you try to blow out candles as a ghost, and then, so you have the controllers, and then the person with the headset is trying to catch you, and it's just really goofy. It's just the goofiest thing, and it was like a school project game, but I just think it's so funny. Anyway, so that's asynchronous. So we can make it asynchronous where like you're throwing it and you can't see, so maybe you just have the like controllers and you're like, and then the person's trying to like run and catch them.
Oh,
I guess one person
you're super deep down in the hole that you can't see.
Yeah,
like,
you can't see, so you're just like, I don't know, and the other person has
you
to
just
catch
toss
it.
them. No,
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Fossil
Beautiful.
toss.
We have to name it. Fossil toss. Yes. Wow, you're really good at naming these. Actually, I knew that because sometimes Meghana will text me better names for games that we've made. So,
well, usually it's after me like sitting and thinking about it rather than being.
You're
like,
not on the clock.
So that we are done with Fossil Toss with 2 minutes 40 seconds to spare.
Wow, we are killing it today.
We are just blowing through rapid fire round.
I know. All right. Well, this is our final 3 words for today. Are you ready?
I am ready. Maybe this one will stump us.
I think it will, because there's a word in here that I'm like, okay. Arch. Contradiction. That's the questionable one. And helmet.
Arch, contradiction, and helmet?
Yeah. Helmet always makes me think of bicycles. Maybe it's
Helmet
a bike.
makes me think of the Pokemon Shelmet.
Okay. That's fair. This is a video game podcast.
Bicycle.
Could be a bicycle racing game.
But you are on a Peloton.
Okay.
So you don't go anywhere.
Because it's a
That's
contradiction.
a contradiction to be on a bike and you're not going anywhere.
Stationary bike. Stationary bikes in and of themselves are contradictions.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a bicycle race, but you're on a Peloton.
Yes.
Okay.
What about the arch?
You have to biking over an archway. It's an arched route, I guess.
Like a arched bridge, maybe, or
Yeah, or like the Arc de Triomphe.
the Arc de Triomphe.
I don't think you could bike on the Arc de Triomphe.
What game is this?
It's a game that will never be made.
Okay, so stationary bicycle.
Yeah, but how do you play on it? Like, how is that a game on the stationary bike? Like, are you biking?
Maybe it's just like a workout game. Maybe it's just like go get your
so you're like
cardio in.
you're like jogging, like, or
maybe it's like you have your own like
you have
bike.
to buy a bike to play.
Yeah,
this
you
game.
have to buy a bike for this
So
game.
we're gonna call Nintendo. Be like, all right, you're gonna develop the Nintendo bike.
The Nintendo bike. You know, you can couple it with Ring Fit. You know,
Yeah, it's a Ring Fit DLC. It's the bike.
You use the rings as the wheels.
Yeah,
so like they're just spinning.
Gosh. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
This is good. This is good.
What do you do? What is it called? Where does the arch come into play?
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, maybe you're biking up hills. So you go up like because their hills are arches, so it's like really hard to go up the hill, and then you get to like fly down and collect prizes.
Oh, what prizes?
I don't know, like collectibles, maybe like little outfits.
Little outfits, like pieces of outfits. Like I got a shirt, I got a hat.
Well, I was just thinking because I got playing Kirby's Dream Buffet, like the whipped cream hat. That really made me happy. So
maybe stationary bike game needs a whipped cream hat too.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe because this is obviously a Nintendo game. Like we're designing it straight up. Maybe it is from your like favorite characters. Like you create looks from your favorite Nintendo games.
Okay. So like you have to go to certain hilly regions that are known for the different costumes that are on their hillsides.
Like you go to like Kirby and Mario and other games,
Legend of Zelda and Donkey Kong and Pokemon.
Yep. I wasn't sure. I was gonna say Pokemon, and then I'm like, is that strictly Nintendo? But it is, right?
It is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right. What's the name of this
this beautiful game?
The
most beautiful game.
Yeah.
Maybe the most beautiful bike race.
The most beautiful bike race. Okay.
I just want it to be known.
Oh goodness. That one was a toughie.
That was rough.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the game we made is considered a game, but hey.
You know, anything's
you get
a game.
your wins, like Termite Tower, and then you get your less so wins, like the most beautiful bike race.
The most beautiful bike race. Oh, goodness.
Okay. All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Meghana, for being here and being an awesome guest host.
Yes, thank you for hosting me, the number one fan. If you are also a number one fan, maybe Claire will invite you on the podcast too.
Hey, you never know. We're definitely going to do more guest episodes, not just guest hosted, but have people come on when Isaac and I are on. So look forward to that in the future. But yeah, thank you again for being here, being our first guest. This was awesome. And if anyone wants to follow us on social media, you can find us at Make That Game Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us on YouTube by searching Make That Game as a channel. We cannot make a YouTube URL yet because we need 100 subscribers. So please help us reach that goal and subscribe so that I can more easily tell people how to find us on YouTube. That'd be awesome.
Yes. Please subscribe, like, and subscribe. I love my YouTubes. Just do it.
So just do it. It's not so hard to subscribe. It's great. It helps us out. You could also, to help us out, if you want to help us out, leave us a review on iTunes. Can be really helpful. And even if you don't listen on iTunes, that's kind of like the review place for podcasts. So we really appreciate that as well. And we do have a Twitch. It's linked in our bio and Instagram. I think it's just twitch.tv/makethatgame. You'd see our little logo. If you follow us there, you'll be alerted of any upcoming streams. We haven't done any yet, but we will in the future. So look forward to that as well. We are everywhere, folks. Meghana, is there any social media or any projects you want to pitch that you're doing or up to or want people to know about?
No, I just exist in this space as a anonymous viewer. So there's nowhere you can follow me.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I'm not, stepping
I
on your
appreciate
toes.
The plug, but I'm just going to plug Make That Game podcast.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Thank you.
Follow them because I'm just here as a guest. I'm just automatically just introducing myself into this narrative.
You're part of it.
Follow them on all their social medias at Make That Game Pod. And then also you can email them at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. How exciting is an email?
It's pretty good. And you can email us, like, if you have a game you want us to try, we'll honk and bonk it. If you, have some honks and bonks for games we've talked about. If you have game ideas you want us to, like 3 words you want us to try, that would be really cool. We'd love to see that stuff. Or if you just want to say hi, send us an email. Well, that's it for our show. If you heard a game today that you say, that needs to exist right now, we encourage you to go out there and make
that game.